Okay. All right.
All right. All right, excellent. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here this evening. My name is Ron Mack, and this is Brandon, and he's going to be introducing himself in a minute. But I just want to introduce myself as a Mayo Clinic business liaison for the Project Search program. I know that you all are here tonight to learn more about that, and you're going to hear most of this from Evelyn, the wonderful Evelyn and the instructor. But I just wanted to introduce myself as the Mayo Clinic representative, as well as Brandon, because I can just say this is my first year as the business liaison for Project Search. Although I've been at Mayo Clinic multiple years, this is my first program. I've partnered and been able to really engage with a lot of the Project Search students over time. I've done work readiness training with the students, as well as just helping them with their career path. But this is my first year as the business liaison. And so it's very exciting to be here and be a part of this. And more so, really speak to you about how important it is for this program to be going, because we know that your career path is so important to you. And what that looks like at Mayo Clinic is really building that strength and the confidence in you to know that you too can actually perform on the job as an intern and as an employee at Mayo Clinic in several different areas throughout Mayo Clinic. It's so important to you for you to know that when you hear about this program, that Mayo Clinic is here to support you and guide you through your career path. And whatever that looks like, we're here to support you. And me, as that business liaison, really want to be there to support you and the staff on what that looks like, and the school, Paradise Valley School District, and everyone, to really make that holistic approach so that you all can have a great experience as you are a part of the Project Search program. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Brandon.
So excited to have Ron as part of the program. It's his first year. I actually helped start the program 6 years ago at Mayo Clinic. It was mid-pandemic. I hate to bring it up. We all want to forget about it. It was a tough time, but to me, it's significant because it was a perfect excuse for Mayo Clinic to say, maybe now is not the time for us to do Project Search, but they didn't. They said, this is important. This is something we want to do. This is who Mayo Clinic is. We want to be part of this training. We want to really make sure that we're representing the community that surrounds us, and that includes all of you. And so we've had great successes and a lot of learning that's happened at Project Search for both our interns and for organizations that are participating. And so we're really excited to have everybody here tonight. And so Ron and I, as he said, his job is to kind of liaison between Project Search and Mayo Clinic, and I also help with some of that internally to kind of make sure that Mayo Clinic provides the resources and partners with organizations that are included to make sure the Project Search has the resources that it needs to be able to be successful. And I got to tell you, time and time again, the managers, the supervisors, the division leaders within Mayo Clinic that have interns within their departments, they initially are like, what do we do? How are we guiding this program? What's the benefit to us? And then very quickly that transitions into, I want to champion this program. This is great. These interns are providing incredible benefit to our departments. And so we're really happy to have you all here. So to have you guys here tonight to learn about Project Search with the potential of becoming future interns within our program makes us happy. So we are excited to learn about each one of you, to tell you about our program, and hopeful that you'll tell your friends. So, all right. So Evelyn and Victoria, they're going to come and walk us through exactly what the program is and give you all the information you need. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, it's great to be here again. This is my 4th year participating in this program as a Project Search teacher. So my name is Evelyn Satnin. I'm a proud PVUSD teacher and very honored to be in this very unique position of a Project Search instructor. And I'll let Victoria introduce herself and then we'll get started.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria. I actually work for the University of Arizona, but we partner with PVUSD and Mayo Clinic to create our Project Search team. So I'm a skills trainer, and so my job is helping kind of be like the job coach for the interns, visiting them and just making sure everything runs smoothly. This is my second year, but feels like feel longer than that, honestly, but no, it's been good.
Yeah, she had a busy day, so.
A busy day, yeah.
To give you an example of just what happens, today a student was able to complete a basic life skills certification through Mayo Clinic as part of a rotation. So I know we'll go more in depth on what the students experience and the opportunities that are there, but that is something that Victoria walked a student through over the course of a couple of days. He was able to get his basic life skills certification. So okay, so we'll get started. And we'll start with the project search partners. So it's not just one person, it's a team effort. It's more than cooperation, it's collaboration between different stakeholders, different partners. I don't want to be in your way. So we have Mayo Clinic and Project Search Model. That's our business, our host business. Paradise Valley Unified School District, that's our local education agency. Arizona Vocational Rehabilitation Services, Sonoran Center, and Excellence for Disabilities, as well as, we can't forget about our community champions of the program. We have our parent liaison, Deb Kozak, who is a huge supporter.
I'm sweating right now because technology is not my friend, and you think I'd have it down by now.
She helps in many ways, making sure that the students have everything that they need to be able to participate and have their focus be on those internships, aside from any food insecurities or anything related to uniforms or anything else that might be needed. Dress for Success is an organization that we partner with annually. They are going to be at our classroom in just a couple of weeks. They help with professional development as well as the styling opportunity, and that outfit is free of charge to the students. The students get to keep that for an interview or anything else that's required. Valley Metro, we have someone visit us in the training room to provide an overview of transportation and what Valley Metro can provide to the interns. Our main goal of the program, aside from competitive integrated employment, is to help the interns gain independence and to feel independent in the workplace, but also in the community. And what better way than to explore transportation options in the community, as well as the Dream Job Fair. And that's an event that Victoria kind of vetted out this year, and something that we look forward to taking our interns to in the spring. So what is Project Search? Just to highlight: train, employ, and support. We help with the training aspect in the training room at Project Search in our host business, Mayo Clinic. There are 3 10-week internships that take place throughout the year. The students must complete 2 different rotations. They can complete a repeat for that 3rd rotation as a possibility for employment leading from extra on-the-job training and then after graduation employment. Sometimes that works out that way. Other times it's just a repeat to gain more skills and to develop more skills. These are unpaid internships. So someone might think, okay, if I have the option to get a job or go to Project Search, why would I choose unpaid internship? The reason for that is you cannot find this experience, this collaboration between PVUSD and Mayo Clinic is exclusive to the students in PV who are eligible. And that means that there's opportunities to network within Mayo Clinic. And what better place to network than in one of the top rated hospital, right? So we have mentors who are huge champions of this program, are there to support, just like Brandon and Ron had mentioned, in all aspects of finding employment and building the hard and the soft skills. And those are to learn marketable, transferable skills that can lead to employment, whether it's at the host business. Sometimes that happens. Other times it's in the community. So although we cannot guarantee employment at the host business, what we can guarantee are those experiences, the possibility of, not the possibility, but the guarantee of networking with the mentors, gaining that experience, that hands-on experience, and we'll go more in depth on what those departments are in just a little bit. Employ, so the goal is competitive integrated employment. And like I said, that's either at the host business or in the community. Project search model is at least 16 hours per week upon graduation, working in a job, and that would be non-seasonal and in an integrated setting. So that means among an inclusive setting, so among peers, not typical peers, neurotypical peers. So a setting like what we mirror in the workplace at Project Search. So we have that setting, and that's the perfect place to practice those skills. Sometimes things come up just like in the real world, the workplace, and we tell our students, that's okay. This is a learning opportunity. You are in a safe place to learn how to navigate these different experiences, so we can help guide them through that instead of experiencing that at a time where it could really be a job on the line. And support, kind of leading to that, we have on-site support. We have 3 staff members on site. I'm there all day. Victoria's there. We also have a third colleague, Amal Karani, who's the skills trainer. We'll show you a schedule of what that looks like. But to continue on what happens after the program year and what supports, what do the supports look like? After Project Search, VR continues to be a huge support for the students. Project Search steps back. VR helps facilitate with a vendor and a job coach who's going to assume the role of what Project Search was doing during the program year. Not to the same extent because they can't provide that same experience, but it's certainly individualized on what that intern or that graduate may need. Sometimes it's an hour every day. Other times it might be an hour every other week just for checking in. And if there's 90 days of successful employment, then a meeting would take place to determine if services need to continue or if they can step back, because of course we're all looking for independence for our young adults. There's just a quick video. You'll see a glimpse of what the so maybe we asleep. I'll try to right click. When all else fails. Oh.
I just saw images come through with what you'd sent me. I didn't see any embedded videos.
That's all right.
But again, technology, I could have missed it, but we've had them in the past. The best one ever.
Yep. Okay, so who can be a Project Search intern? Again, it's an exclusive partnership between PV and Mayo Clinic. So a PV student ages 18 to 22 and has an IEP. Students who are completing their senior year in May of 2026. And right now I'm speaking to the cohort for 26, 27. So students completing their senior year in May of 2026 or enrolled in a Pathways Transition program. Project Search will be the students' final year in high school. So the students that are with us right now have agreed to participate in Project Search, and upon completion, they receive a certificate of completion for the program, as well as a high school diploma from Sweetwater Community School. Sweetwater Community School is the school that has the Project Search program, and it's housed out of Sweetwater, but not physically. We are housed 100% at Mayo Clinic, but there are times where we go to Sweetwater, and Mr. Danner is the principal at Sweetwater Community School.
Between Deb, myself, and Brandon, we're the original group that's starting Project Search.
Thank you. So like I said, even though we're not at Sweetwater, we still reach out to Mr. Danner. He's still very much a part of the program. Anything that takes place, we stay in communication with him. So there's always that support from the school district to make sure that we are business-led, which is the program model, but we know that we have students, but we do want to simulate that experience of what a typical employee would have in a job. So whether that's Mayo Clinic policies, we certainly go over that during orientation week, all of the Mayo Clinic policies, and make sure that the students are aware, because they are going to be alongside Mayo Clinic employees who are expected to follow those policies. So we want to have those same expectations of our students. And again, Mayo Clinic requirements, just the negative TB test, the background check, and about this time of year, flu vaccine documentation or declination. So declining the flu vaccine, but that would be something in addition to that. And a significant barrier to employment. Sometimes that's obvious for IEP teams to identify, and other times that kind of creeps up when someone has a job who you might otherwise think, oh, they don't need project search, they have a job, but they have a hard time maintaining employment. Maybe they're arriving to work late. Maybe they have difficulty accepting corrective feedback. So it might not be as obvious, but there are significant barriers that look different for each individual. Vocational rehabilitation client must be eligible for vocational rehabilitation services and an active client when participating in project search. And there is an eligibility checklist.
Yes, and if you don't have one now, that's okay. They're on the table that you can grab on the way out. Just has extra details on there.
Yeah. So model fidelity for project search, and this is a program that is not just exclusive to Arizona, it's international. We have Lisa, who's our project search statewide coordinator here. So if I miss anything, Lisa, please let me know. Employment is the main goal of the program, competitive integrated employment. We serve, the program serves or supports young adults with developmental disabilities through the career development and internship. So those would be the 3 rotations, as well as mock interviews, job development that occurs throughout the year. Collaboration, again, it's more than just cooperating among these different agencies. It's everyone coming together to meet the needs of the students. Business-led, we follow the Mayo Clinic policies. We make sure that our interns are aware at the start of orientation. And by the way, our first week, we follow the school district calendar. I should lead with that. We follow the school district calendar. So we start the first day of school in the training room. We give our students about a week and a half to get settled into the program. We go over orientation, the Mayo Clinic policies. That's a huge part of that. The history, we want them to be as informed as any other Mayo Clinic employee, rich ties and everything. Competitive skills, the program leads to the acquisition of competitive skills, the transferable skills, the hard skills, soft skills, skills that would be needed upon completion of the program so that they can obtain a job offer, whether that's at the host business or in the community. Now, we currently have I believe over the course of the time that the project search has had a partnership between PVUSD and Mayo Clinic, I believe there's about 15 students that have gone on to receive job offers at Mayo Clinic. We have been recognized with 100% employment outcome award. That includes a combination of employment within the host business and also within the community. We have students right now, graduates, I should say. They're always students to me, but graduates that are currently employed there.
I call them colleagues.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I tell you what, nothing makes me happier because we have people in food services,
I
and
know.
pharmacy and facilities in a whole bunch of different places. So when I go into the pharmacy and there's a project search person there that's ringing me up and checking me out, doing my business there.
Right. Yes. Yes, and it's great to see that they are still there. They are gaining promotions with it.
Desk operations.
Yes,
Another one. Right?
exactly. We have a student that obtained a team assist position, which is that entry level position that typically our project search interns are hired on at that within that job description. And he was able to promote out of that and obtain the entry level position that anyone within the community would be hired on for. So kudos to him. He has gone on to really excel, and all of our graduates and colleagues are really taking ownership of their position within Mayo Clinic, and they have such pride. Also keeping in touch with those who are working in the community. I was just made aware that we have a graduate who is working here at PVUSD as a bus aide. So we have graduates who have gone on to work at Mayo Clinic, but also in the community. And it's just great to see how independent they have become. And continuous improvement. We keep in contact with the graduates to update the portal and make sure that we keep record of our employment outcomes. So we want to ensure that the students are meeting that project search goal of 16 hours per week in a non-seasonal integrated setting for employment. And unfortunately, our vocational rehabilitation counselor was unable to attend today. We do have some handouts there, so I'll just briefly go over this. But if you have any specific questions about VR, I would encourage you to reach out to Vivian Manhone. And she is excellent. She has a lot of experience in VR. So VR serves students who have a documented disability, which presents as a barrier to employment. So similarities to project search. The desire to work must be there, needing services in order to work. And I will say that project search is a competitive process. So applying to project search, we do have an application process. There's a skills assessment that all applicants are invited to on site at Mayo Clinic, not as a means to remove anyone from the application process, but as a way to gain a baseline of the skills. So we can see where everyone's at and see what level of support or services, what would be a good match. As well as, oh no, that's fine. And I do want to say that if there's an applicant who is not selected for project search, VR is certainly a great option to continue with. VR does not have that same competitive process. That is not a part of that. Anyone who would apply for VR services and maybe not go through with project search, I would highly encourage you to continue with VR. They have great resources. This is what a typical day looks like for us on site. So our schedule, we start at 8 o'clock. We ask students to be there by 7:50 because we want students to get in a routine of arriving to work early so that they can put their things away, get settled in, and be ready to start promptly at our 8 o'clock start time, or in the future for them, whatever their start time may be. We cover different topics in the training room provided by the project search curriculum. All of those skills are obviously important to learning how to be an employee. We have a colleague at Mayo Clinic who's a mentor to students, although not exclusively, but is certainly always available when we need him. And he likes to say that this is a college for our interns. This is like that college experience, learning how to be an employee. And I couldn't agree with him more. That's how I see it as well. Students really rise to the challenge when they start in August, and even now, they're not the same intern, and their families express that same observation. Students are generalizing skills from the workplace, from Mayo Clinic, to their home. The feedback that we receive at our every, I think, couple of weeks or every employment planning meetings. So just about every month and a half or so, each employment planning meeting or each rotation has 2 employment planning meetings. That's where we check in with the families, similar to an IEP, but it's not going over like those types of goals. It's going over what supports do we need to put in place, accommodations, what are the tasks, feedback from departments, how can we best support the intern with their goal of employment? What is their goal for employment? And how can we structure or create that path using our rotations that are available? What resources do we have to help them get to their end goal? So that's what we're working on in the classroom. And then we send students off to their internship sites from 9 to 2. So the students from 9 to 2 are working in their unpaid internships. They're working alongside mentors. They're developing their soft skills, learning hard skills, and gaining independence. On the first day, we meet students in front of the building 3, and then we walk them to our training room, which is kind of a far walk, and we walk them back at the end of the day. But starting the second day, they are ready to walk to the training room and then back to their place of for pickup on their own. And it's just wonderful to see. We have families that really want to confirm, is this really true? Are they walking around the hospital and finding their location kind of on their own from 9 to 2? I say yes, they are. And that's where we see the independence grow in the interns, and they mature in a way that is really incredible for the families to see in such a short amount of time how they can step up to the challenge. And it's just that right fit challenge for the interns. It's that unique experience that everyone has a hand in.
Yeah, I love hearing the parents say that they notice their student helping out more around the house without being asked. And I'm like, yes, I've seen them. They can fold, they can do.
It's possible.
Yes, they can do this and that. Yeah, so it is. That's an awesome part of their growth. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end of, just briefly at the end of the towards the end of their day, for about half hour, they return to us in the training room, and we have a debrief time, and that looks different. Sometimes it's just kind of an organic conversation that takes place. Someone makes a comment about something, and then we kind of lead from there. Other times we have just kind of journal sentence starters or questions to provoke some deep reflection on soft skills or any concepts that were discussed that morning. So just to tie that into their day, what that looks like. But we really want the students to reflect on their day and to hear from other interns about their experience so that they could get some ideas or learn from them as well, not just learning from mentors, but also peer-to-peer. This is what the classroom looks like. It's amazing. We are in a modular building, but from the inside, you would never know. It's a beautiful space that Mayo Clinic has provided. We have the layout here in a U shape to promote that open discussion among the students, among our interns. And we also have a kitchen area, break room area, a collaboration room up there for meetings. We use that as kind of a one-on-one, or when you would check in with the supervisor, like every 90 days, just some of those meetings, because again, we want to mirror that same workplace environment. What are those same experiences? We really don't want anything to be super brand new to our graduates. We want them to have familiarity with anything that they might encounter in the workplace. And of course, we have restrooms, and it's very nice to have a place to fill up your water bottle. And we have lockers too. I've been told showcase the lockers, and I always forget, but we do have lockers. We have a place to hang up backpacks. Students will bring a backpack. There's a binder that we add resources to throughout the year. So it's a great place. And here are some departments. Previous years, we've showcased a slide for each department, but we want to talk about it in a different way. We want to try something out. We are using social media this year, and our social media guru.
Social media intern.
Yes. Victoria Martinez. She is going to keep as a highlight each video or resource for the different departments on our social media and on Instagram. And I believe those handouts have a link to that. But here we have a list of some of the departments that have partnered with us previously and currently. Outpatient pharmacy, that's what you see right here. Over-the-counter items, general services, logistics, nurse transport, food service, research, and those others there. As you can see, it's a mix of everything. I know Mr. Danner will say that it's just like a little city, a big city, not little. It's ever-growing city. So we have students or applicants who think, well, I don't want to be in a hospital. I don't want to see any blood or syringes or any surgeries. No, that's not the case at all. Just from these pictures, you can visually see that it's not all about anything hands-on with the patient. We have rotations that are direct patient interaction and then some that are very far removed. Building services, that's just miscellaneous repairs throughout the hospital, work orders that come in. General services, yes, that's about as close as you're going to get with the patient, transporting a patient using a wheelchair. And I will also add that general services provides the same wheelchair training to our interns day one of their rotation as they do to all of their employees. So just another example of how Mayo Clinic supports our interns in continuing that model of making sure they have that same experience as their typical employees. We don't have anything that says project search intern, anything that identifies them as a project search intern. And that's because we don't want them to be singled out. We want them to fit in just like the mentors and their peers. And we also have logistics. So right here, not any patient interactions really throughout the day at all, aside from deliveries. So depending on what the intern's desire is, we can craft or create a path with those different rotations. Any questions about the departments?
You may want to explain CSS surgery.
Yes.
Since that could be like a,
Yes.
yeah.
The alarm, CSF surgery will not be participating in any surgeries. It's just the prep work or the supplies that would be prepped for to be used in surgeries to make sure that everything that the medical team would need at the time of surgery is available and readily available up at the surgical cores, and any items that need to be brought in or ordered are available so that there's no lapse in like the patient care, so nothing is held up. The needs of the patient come first is the primary value at Mayo Clinic, and we teach that to our students day one. So they lead with that in all of their rotations because we do let the interns know that regardless of your level of interaction with the patient, everything that you do does impact patient care on some level. Logistics, I could go on and on about that, but I think that's great. Thank you.
It's kind of a scary word.
Yeah, thank you. That probably is just the video as well. Unfortunately, our parent speaker was unable to attend as well to unrelated personal matters. But we've already shared a little bit about what some of the parent testimonials have been. The feedback has been just rewarding to hear. And it's just wonderful to hear that the interns are increasing their level of independence and also generalizing the skills, applying what they were learning in the rotations, the classroom to home and in the community as well. We have interns that start with family transportation at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year, they are taking Dial-A-Ride or using Valley Metro independently. So just to kind of give you an idea of what we see with our interns. Great video though.
Yeah, great videos. We'll try to show the
Next time we'll have
first
a-
video.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to show the first video at the end because it
Yeah.
is a good one.
Application timeline. So we are here right now, November 21st is tomorrow. Applications will open up. You can use that QR code and probably even tonight if you're feeling ambitious to sign up and apply. We encourage you to apply and go through the application process. Make sure you're in communication with VR December next month. And that would be Vivian Manhone. Contact information is there. What?
Sorry, just
Go ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt, but that's not like you need to have it done by the end of December.
Right,
That's
right.
just maybe when to start thinking about it, and you really could be doing that up until
Yeah.
February, March.
Yeah.
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 So, but just to start thinking about it. Just to-
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you want to pace yourself.
Yes, you don't have to have it done by December 31st.
Right. And Project Search does have a skills assessment day. So I'm just kind of looking at March for a second, and it also includes an interview as well. The interview is completed by Mr. Danner and our business liaison. We have stations that are set up in a conference room that mimic the hard skills that would that an intern would participate in or would be assigned in the departments, whether that's pushing a wheelchair, wiping down tables, alphabetizing in pharmacy, counting money for food service register. Those are just some examples. So what can an applicant do to prepare? Work with family, work with teachers to develop those interview skills, or just get comfortable with interviewing, as I'm sure everyone is already working on those. So that would be great. And then notice of selection. An email will be sent out to all of the applicants to inform them of the application status change. And bless you. And that could either be continuing on with the Project Search program, or maybe suggesting a continuation with VR. And again, it's a great resource, and they have a lot of information and great resources available to help students, even though they are not continuing with Project Search. It's just a great program overall. And these dates are subject to change. Okay, any questions?
Oh, can I add, you guys, we've already said we're recording, but just a reminder that this is going to be recorded, shared. So just,
Specific.
yeah, not too much personal stuff unless you want it shared out there. So.
So what can you do tonight? I encourage you to look through the application timeline, check out the QR code, join us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Check out our information there. We do, Victoria posts frequently updates of our interns, so you can see what that looks like and what that experience would be for your young adult.
Yes, and you'll see if, when you take a look, they kind of pose for some of the photos, and they know that we're doing like a soft skill of the week, or we have leadership meetings every 4 weeks, and we do a intern spotlight,
Yes.
which is something new that we didn't do it last year.
No.
And we just want our leadership team to see the face of our intern. So we give the intern, the first few minutes to just say hello, explain who they are, what they've enjoyed about it. So I like to also post their photo with a quote of what they shared at that meeting, so that, their family or friends or anyone can also see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So please apply. We look forward to reviewing your application. You have our contact information. I have, Lisa, would you like to add anything, please?
No, I just wanted to kind of put out there.
Yes.
How many interns are you looking for this year?
We can have 12 students in our program in a current year. So we are looking for 12 plus additional students for a waiting list. It's always great to have students available. If a spot becomes available, we would like to be able to reach out to the family to let them know. So yes, 12 plus the waiting list. And of course, as many applicants as we can reach. This is, again, a unique opportunity of collaboration between PVUSD, Mayo Clinic, and we hope to be able to educate as many families as possible during this application recruitment process, and to have 12 plus the waiting, so we can have the upcoming year at our max, so we can reach as many students as possible with this program. Any questions? Yes.
What's the typical number of applicants that you have?
The typical, it fluctuates, but we typically see anywhere from maybe 13 to 15 students that apply. That's why this year we have, I don't know if anyone has joined us in previous years, we've typically held this meeting in January. We started it earlier in the year because we really want to cast the wide net and reach as many families as possible And this will give us an opportunity to reach more families and open up the application process. So although that's our typical number, with our current efforts, we're hoping to reach more families. So thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Because that does matter, and spreading the word and getting that information out there. Any other questions? Yes.
I don't know if, you already talked about this, but for that timeline is, so you're looking for seniors, and so they graduate and then they start this program. So it's like they're not currently enrolled in school. It's, after they graduate, and if they get chosen, when, like, you said it starts in August. So is it, what's the August to, and then 10 weeks from whenever they start is when the program ends?
So I can answer that. So if your student is currently in one of the 5 high schools, they will continue within the district. They won't technically graduate with their home high school. They will then transition over to Project Search, and they will finish out the next school year with Project Search. So they'll do 3 10-week internships. First part of the school year, the first 2 weeks, if I remember right?
Yes.
They're in the skills room, learning about Mayo Clinic and all the different pieces. And then they start their 3 10-week internships. And at the end of next school year is when they would get their high school diploma.
And they can still walk the graduation ceremony with their current peers.
Oh,
And then they would just be continuing on,
And
because you gotta have the fun part.
yes,
You know.
Mayo Clinic has great graduation ceremony for our interns. It's a wonderful space that they hosted in. So there was an additional graduation ceremony, commencement ceremony that takes place on site at Mayo Clinic at the end of the program year.
So if your student is going to continue with Project Search, they would walk with their graduation class this year. At the end of the school year, most of them will walk with their current cohort class, and then at the end of next school year, they'll walk with the Project Search graduation. Okay, but they won't get their high school diploma until they finish Project Search.
so it's like a 5th year.
Correct. Yes.
Of high school.
Absolutely.
basically. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's some students that choose to go into the Pathways program, either at Sweetwater or Shadow Mountain. And then they're choosing to be here tonight, and they might do 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years through Pathways, and then apply for Project Search.
Oh.
So there's one parent here that's been here 3 times listening to this, and their child has been in Pathways this year, now is choosing to apply for Project Search. So.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dan.
Yeah, on the same timeline question, my daughter is junior,
Okay.
so I don't know, would it be the right time for applications and how does that work?
No, we are looking, you can start as early as the senior year. So fall, spring, senior year, but a junior would still need to complete their senior year.
So they have to complete their senior year at their home high school in order to be eligible to apply for the Mayo Clinic program. Because there's still academic classes that they're missing that Project Search does not fulfill.
Right. So
But they're
all
applying
to
in
us
this next year
Correct.
for it.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to keep our contact information,
right.
join us, and
Thank you.
apply. Yeah,
Thank you.
for senior year. Yes. Any other questions? Thank you all for being here today. We look forward to reviewing applications, reaching out for any questions at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.